Hey, what's up, everybody? The other day I was asked a question on the channel about Galveston and New Orleans, right? There was one person that actually asked, I didn't know we cruised out of Texas and Louisiana. So let's talk about it. Galveston versus New Orleans. Which is better? Pros and cons. Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Ike Stevens. Welcome to the Blue Collar Cruising channel. Hey, if you ain't subscribed to the channel, we're going to be doing more videos just like this. We got cruises coming up. I'm going to show you around the cruise ship, around the port, things to do, and some really awesome music. And before we get into today's content, we have a Facebook group, Blue Collar Cruising. Check out the link down below in the description. Okay, come there and ask your question, your specific questions. It's a growing group. We got about 130 people in there as I record this, so we're a growing community for sure. I've cruised only out of New Orleans and Galveston, and both ports have their pros and cons. Both cities have their pros and cons. Let's start with New Orleans. Talk about their pros. You go down to Mississippi. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. When you sail your whole evening, you're going down the Mississippi all the way up until like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Depending on what time of year, it could be like really foggy and it's really like kind of spooky a little bit, but it's really cool. It's really cool to go down the Mississippi River at night. It is. So if you want that experience, you're not going to get that experience out of Galveston. In my opinion, the port, the check-in process, the parking is way better in New Orleans. They have a parking garage right at the terminal. So you could go park it. It's like $20 a day or something like that, $25 maybe. You know, it could get kind of pricey, but it is worth it. What you do, you park into the garage. There's porters there. You don't have to make a separate trip. You just park. You know, you pay first. You got to pay there. You can't pay online. You just drive up, and there's porters there to take your luggage. Then you go park, find you an elevator. You know, it's right there basically. And then go directly down to the check-in area. And then once you check in, or once you start that check-in process, you just basically go through scanner, you go through a person going through your documents, and then you go through a third tier where they're going, you know, and getting you basically checked into the ship, right? You know, if you're early, you sit there and wait. If you're not early, you know, a lot of times, you know, you just go right on in. Super easy check-in process. And the best thing about parking in that parking garage is not that day. It's when you get off the ship and you just hit the elevator, go up to your car, load it up and go. You're out of there. Those are the pros on New Orleans. The cons, if you're not a party person like me, you won't find... I'm not. First of all, I'm not a party. Excuse the cap. I'm a Kevin Harvick fan. Not a big beer drinker, even though I knocked down a couple. I'm not big into the party scene, and that's what you get at New Orleans with the French Quarter. I'm not into that. I could care less about all that, to be totally honest. So to me, there's not that much stuff to do in New Orleans compared to Galveston. Another con, no matter what time of year, the hotels are like this. Either you get expensive or you get cheap. You get something, you know, decent and safe, or you get something that, well, you know, you don't know if your car's going to get broke into. There's no middle ground in the city of New Orleans. Now, if you get out in Slidell, Laplace, places like that, then you could find some, you know, mediocre hotels that, you know, hey, you're not wanting to break the bank. If you're wanting to treat yourself to some nice rooms, then you have that in New Orleans. So Galveston, the parking, the check-in, a little bit different. You could pay, well, first of all, the parking areas are pay in advance. So you have that where you could go reserve your parking in advance, which I'm a big fan of that. Wherever you park, either you're going to take a shuttle or you're going to do a lot more walking. So where we park across the street in the parking garage. And usually you walk across the street. It's not that far to walk, but it's further than New Orleans. New Orleans, you just go down the elevator and you're there. Well, there you got a little bit to walk. Not so far where you need a shuttle. You don't need a shuttle. Now, other places that are down the road, you'll need a shuttle to go to. And sometimes a lot of people don't like that. The check-in process at Galveston is a little bit more unorganized. It is a lot more, it's a lot more unorganized. The traffic around the port is a lot more unorganized in New Orleans. New Orleans, I know when I get there, I know where to go. It's pretty much one way in, one way out. And it's really super organized. Where Galveston has like 3 or 4 ways in. It's just unbelievable how much of a train wreck it could be. Now, a pro to Galveston, if you're not in, hey, you're ready to be out at sea. Once you leave the port, you're out basically at sea. You see Galveston floating away, and that's always neat. You get to see your sunset over the ocean. So that's definitely a pro. Now, the city itself, Galveston Island, there's way more things to do in Galveston. You got Crystal Beach, which is it's not a free beach. You got to have like a parking permit. It's like $5 or $10. And you can go park out there on the beach and, set you a lawn chair out there and just enjoy the relaxing, the ocean. Places to eat, they're very similar. Okay, there's a lot of Cajun food in both places, New Orleans and Galveston. There's also a lot of seafood. I want you to do this. Seafood in Galveston. Lots of, basically crabs and friggin' shrimp and, lobster. Listen, I'm there for the scaled fish. That's just my preference. But there's so many things to do. For free. You don't have to sit there and break the bank. Okay, you just don't. You can go park on the seawall, walk up and down the seawall if you want to. There's shops. If you love the beach life, the saltwater life, to me, in my opinion, Galveston is the place to be. Because I'm a Texas boy, I do prefer Galveston. I just do. I've cruised out of there a bunch, both of them, and they have their pros and cons. But to me, when I go, because I go down the day before, okay, that's what I do. I go get me a room and stuff like that. And there's just way more things to do. There just is. And in New Orleans, like I said, we're not the party people. We're not going to the French Quarter to go and just get tore up the night before. That's just not our gig. Now, I will say this. If you're flying in, this for you guys that are flying in, New Orleans is going to be better. New Orleans, because you're not but 20 miles away from the airport. Where Houston, flying in, you're like 40 to 50 miles, and sometimes even further. Depends on which airport you're coming in on. But I will say this, through Carnival, you can get those shuttle rides down. They don't have a big airport close to Galveston. It's all the way up in Houston, which can be a hike, and depending on the traffic. And they've been doing a lot of construction on 45. I'm biased towards Texas cruises, Galveston cruises, just the general area. Galveston gets it. As a port, though, New Orleans wins as a port. I think everybody should do Galveston and New Orleans. If all you've ever done is Florida, okay, give New Orleans a shot. Give Galveston a shot. It's no Florida, but experience some New Orleans, Louisiana type of, living, the things that make New Orleans great. Obviously, Texas, the things that makes Texas great. Get you a Whataburger, get you a Buc-ee's, go get you a steak somewhere. There's a lot of things in Texas. I will be doing a video next week. Now, getting it up, it may be later, but I will be filming on my cruise off the Vista out of Galveston, the check-in process. All you guys have been asking about the check-in process. And it's best if I show you, okay, rather than sit here and talk about it like I am now. I appreciate you guys watching Blue Collar Cruising. I appreciate you guys watching and subscribing and hitting that like button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and let me know, because you guys are kind of, I'm kind of like getting things off you guys. Some of you guys are new cruisers. Some guys, are just trying new things out. Let me know what you want to see based on if I could help you. Now, I haven't done everything in cruising. One of these days I will be, though. You know how it is. I got my goals. Anyways, talk to you guys later in 73.